Welcome to the next part of the tutorial. Today we'll be making, or right now we'll be making the next part, which is the gold part here. We made the previous parts in the previous videos, so if you want to know how to make them, please kindly go back and review the other videos. Alright, so let's get started, shall we? Once again, make sure you zero out the cursor before starting. Put in a plane while in object mode, then go into edit mode, delete the plane. You can hide everything else so that it doesn't become distracting to you, and then we just add vertices like before. Okay, zero out. Alright then, so what are we gonna do? We have these strange window things. What are we gonna do about those? We can either texture them or we can make them 3D. I say let's make them 3D. Alright, let's make them 3D. Alright. So just roughly put in where you want the windows to be. I mean, you can if it doesn't bleh, I'm not making any sense. Yeah, so just put in the vertices. So remember to highlight two vertices to connect them together. You right click one, shift the other. Sorry, right click one, shift, and then right click the other and hit F to join them. Okay, beautiful. So what are we going to do about these? Let me think. I've got a good idea. Why don't we tilt them? That's not a bad idea. Let's tilt them. Okay, but before we do, to make things easier, let's put in the polygons first. Otherwise you'll find you'll have a problem later on. So put in the polygons, keeping in mind where the windows are. Make sure everything's in triangles though. So every face must have 3 edges bounding it. If you can have 4, usually I have a few models that have 4, but usually having more than 4 makes it a bit more difficult to texture later on because it stretches and distorts. So whatever textures you put in, it doesn't look nice. Alright then, so we'll just do the windows. Alright then. So what will we do? Okay, let's see what we do. So we'll go to top down mode, so bird's eye mode, and we'll see that that's what it looks like from the top down mode. I want you to hit A to select everything, and then hit R. Now what R does is, it's a control that we haven't talked about previously. R basically means rotate, so we can rotate it to make it to lift some of the parts anteriorly and other parts posteriorly. So as you can see, this part has been lifted anteriorly and this part has been displaced posteriorly. If you've done a mistake, you can hit Ctrl Z and put it back, but for our cases we're just going to lift it a bit, and I'm going to move it forwards a bit as well. Now the important thing about rotating it in other planes is that sometimes you will have moved the axis of symmetry out of the axis. So if we go back to front view again, the center parts are no longer in the axis of symmetry. So the axis of symmetry is this faint blue line that you can see. What you can do is you can either move everything closer, or you can basically just reset the points. So in this case we want to change only the x coordinate, not the y, because the y denotes how far forward or how far backwards that the point is. So the x coordinate determines left from right, so we move it left and right. You can see the x coordinate moves. Anterior posteriorly, so front or backwards, is the y coordinate, and the z coordinate is usually the blue one. So that's superior, inferior, up or down. Okay, Ctrl Z. Alright then, so we want this to be in the midline. So I'm going to change the x coordinates to Actually, I'll do a bit of, whoops, I'll do a bit of both. So what I'll do is I'll shift it first, I'll move it a bit closer to the center, and then I'll zero it out. So only the x coordinate, not the y, because we don't want to change how far forward or backwards it goes. Only only how far it is from the center axis. Alright, so now we have this part. Beautiful, huh? Let's now flip it over to the other side. A, Shift D, click, mesh, mirror, Z, and then just change the negative value on the X to positive, and you have it. A, W, move doubles. Just two vertices. It's likely to be these two. One here and one here. Alright, okay, so now let's give everything a face. A, oops, AF. No, not atrial fibrillation. AF. So, what are we going to do now? We have these windows, huh? So as you can see, it looks pretty cool. But we've got these windows, that haven't been cut out yet or moved. So what do we do about these windows? Very simple. We are going to extrude them. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to select the windows. Usually I'll select the same windows on both sides. Try not to select more than one, because otherwise you have you have that strange problem. So don't do that. Just select the same windows from both sides. 3 E Y to extrude. And you'll find that look at that. Lovely, isn't it? So we'll do that for now. Go back to front view. Select the next set of windows. Here, I think. Yep, it is. Go side view, E, Y, front view again. Select the next set of windows. If you forget where the windows are, you can just sometimes move it around a bit and you'll find it again. E, Y, it's very repetitive, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Side view, E, Y, okay. And now we have this. Now you may notice that now we have these parts that are all over the place again. We just have to basically have to scale them on the y-axis. So hit A to select everything, go into wireframe mode, hit B, and then select this. You'll select all of them. Side view, S to scale, Y to scale in the y-axis, and it flattens out, changes to 0, and there we have it. Go back to solid mode, and out of edit mode into object mode, and you can see that's what it looks like. It's pretty pretty, huh? Turn back on everything else and see what it looks like. We have a slight problem. Can you see how the shoulder pops out from these windows? So what are we going to do about that, huh? Very simple. Just gotta move things forwards and just move things backwards so that things cover and layer over each other instead. So we'll click on this part that we're going to work on, go back into edit mode, and this time we're going to move everything forwards. So A to deselect everything, A again to select everything, and then you see this green arrow. This green arrow moves the object in the y-axis. We're going to move everything forwards so that this part no longer cuts into this shoulder region. But we still have a problem. The windows are still giving us this problem. Can you see that you can see bits of the shoulder through the windows? So what we can do is we're going to move the windows forward. So how are we going to do that? Deselect everything, go into wireframe mode, hit Z, and then hit B, and then select the level of the windows. And you can see all the windows are selected. Now, very important, we can't see how far we need to go. So we need to go back into solid mode. So hit Z again, and you can now see solid mode. And you can move it by moving the green arrow. And you can see that, choose how far you want to go. Actually, I'm going to move it forward just a tiny bit more. Alright, there we have it. And then we also need to extrude the parts, these outside parts. So Alt, right click, and then E, Y, and just flatten out like you did before. So go into wireframe mode, S, Y, S, Y, S, Y, S, Y, S, Y, to flatten it, keep going until it's flat, and then change the Y coordinate to 0. Done. Tab out of object mode, tab out of edit mode, and then switch back to solid mode, and we can now see this part is done. Okay. Just so you know, it looks great, and anything that looks great usually anything that looks great usually takes a while to texture. I'm just gonna put it out there, okay? So, I mean, yeah. Alright, so we've got that part down. Now, on our next tutorial, we're going to try and make the blade. Zabredo. Blade King. I don't know how many of you got that reference, but anyway. Okay, so the blade part will be done next. If you have any questions or any queries, feel free to put them in the comment section, and I'll do my best to try and answer them. Again, I will tell you that I am not a student of 3D modeling. I don't do game design. I don't do anything. 3D was something I picked up for fun. So, yeah. Alright then, thank you, thanks for watching. See ya.